Welcome to This Explainer. So, when you hear the name Cristiano Ronaldo, what pops into your head? You probably picture the flashy cars, the private jets, the endless trophies, right? A lifestyle most of us can barely even wrap our heads around. But today, we're looking at something totally different. We're stepping off the pitch and into his home. Because you've got to wonder, how exactly does someone at the absolute pinnacle of wealth and fame raise a grounded kid? Well, the answers are incredibly insightful. And honestly, they apply to all of us, whether you're a diehard football fan or someone who doesn't know a penalty kick from a corner kick. It's a literal masterclass in parenting, especially when the odds of spoiling a child are just astronomically high.
Okay, let's dive into this. Before Cristiano Ronaldo Jr. could even fully comprehend what it actually meant to be the son of a living legend, the pressure was already mounting. I mean, just imagine growing up in that massive global shadow where limitless wealth and flashing paparazzi cameras are just your normal Tuesday. It's an incredibly distorting environment for anyone, let alone a kid trying to figure out who they are. But before that crazy reality warping bubble could truly take hold, Ronaldo stepped in. He realized he had to proactively teach life's most essential lessons, building this absolute fortress of values around his son, long before the media or the money could do the talking for him.
And this brings us right to a fundamental choice that honestly every parent in a highly privileged position has to face. There's an easy path where you just hand your kid the world on a silver platter, and then there's the hard path. Well, Ronaldo deliberately chose the hard path. He set this strict, non-negotiable rule. His son is never allowed to rely on fame or just coast by on that famous last name. For instance, when his son kept asking for a smartphone, which, let's face it, basically every kid has these days, Ronaldo flat out refused. He explained he didn't want his son thinking everything in life comes instantly. It's the exact opposite. He wants his son to truly understand that if you want something, you have to earn absolutely everything through relentless discipline and hard work.
So what does that hard work actually look like day to day? Well, from a very early age, the training ground became his primary classroom for life. Now, regular training and staying active are key, of course, but notice the deliberate framing here. Every single practice session wasn't just about learning how to bend a free kick. It was framed around learning how to learn, how to improve, and giving maximum effort every single time you lace in your boots. Even if you're just messing around playing in the backyard, you have to respect the game. And honestly, can you imagine how intimidating it must be to have Cristiano Ronaldo casually critiquing your push-up form in the living room? Wild, right? But that's the point. The standard is always excellence. So the crucial point is character. Ronaldo firmly believes and actively teaches that character is just as important as talent. It's this core philosophy that beautifully bridges the gap between raw athletic ability and just basic human decency. Think about it. You can have all the natural talent in the world. You could be the fastest sprinter or the most gifted student. But without the deep-seated character to back it up, to keep you grounded during those inevitable tough times, that talent means very little. Talent might get your foot in the door, sure, but character is what actually keeps you in the room. It determines your entire long-term trajectory.
Because at the end of the day, football was really only one part of his education. The real moral foundation here rests on respect, humility, and kindness. Ronaldo explicitly taught his son the absolute vital importance of treating everyone well off the pitch. And I mean everyone. That means showing the exact same level of respect to a fan asking for a quick selfie or the stadium staff sweeping the locker rooms as you would to a billionaire club owner. It's a really powerful reminder that raising an elite athlete is entirely secondary to raising a good, decent, empathetic human being. Fame fades and athletic careers always end, but the way you treat people, that becomes your lasting signature.
Let's move to and see how this builds into their life off the pitch. The discipline doesn't just stop at the edge of the grass. It comes right through the front door of their home. The domestic playbook is famously strict and structured. It's all about comprehensive care, taking care of the body and the mind. We're talking grueling recovery routines, proper sleep schedules, and famously, avoiding junk food. Actually, Ronaldo is known to be incredibly strict about absolutely no soda at the dinner table. It's all about treating your body like a high-performance engine that needs the best fuel. He's teaching his son that excellence isn't just something you switch on for 2 hours at practice, it's a full-time 24/7 lifestyle.
And this brilliantly highlights a universal truth that goes way beyond sports. Success comes from the choices you make every single day. This isn't just some lesson for a billionaire's kid. This is a vital, totally accessible takeaway for all of us. I want you to really reflect on that for a second. The daily habits, those small, seemingly insignificant choices you make when absolutely no one is watching, what you eat, how you train, how you spend your downtime, these are the absolute building blocks of long-term success. You don't become great by making one massive heroic decision.
You become great through thousands of tiny, disciplined choices made day after day after day.
But you might be wondering, how do you actually teach that level of commitment to a kid without them totally rebelling? Well, you certainly don't just lecture them. As Cristiano Jr. grew older, Ronaldo didn't try to force him into the sport or scream from the sidelines. Instead, he used the show don't tell method. He led entirely by example. We're talking early mornings, intense gym sessions before most people have even hit the snooze button, and absolute professionalism in everything he does. His son didn't just hear about hard work, he literally saw it with his own eyes, sweating in the home gym every single day. The standard was set by action, not words.
And what's the result of this incredible, persistent guidance? Today, Cristiano Jr. is indeed stepping onto the pitch, actively pursuing his own football career in youth academies. But here is the critical part. He isn't just relying on that legendary name stitched on his jersey to open doors. No way. He is working incredibly hard to improve his own skills and create his very own journey. He's successfully forging his own path, armed not with a sense of entitlement, but with the practical tools, the mental resilience, and the relentless work ethic he absorbed just by watching his dad. He is truly learning to be his own man. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it forces us to redefine a word we hear all the time in sports: a goal. Usually, it just means one thing, right? Getting the ball past the goalkeeper. But for this legendary athlete, the definition has completely shifted. The greatest goal has never really been about the ball hitting the back of the net or hearing the roar of an 80,000-person stadium. His true goal, his absolute ultimate objective, is raising a son who deeply understands the value of hard work, respect, discipline, and the sheer resilience to never, ever give up, no matter how heavy the pressure gets.
Ultimately, instilling these deep foundational values might literally be the most important thing he ever does. It's highly likely that raising this grounded young man will completely eclipse every single sporting record he's broken, every championship he's won, and every Ballon d'Or he's lifted. Let's be real, trophies gather dust, and records eventually get broken by the next generation. But shaping character, raising a grounded, respectful human being out of the blinding glare of the global spotlight, that is a generational achievement. That is the greatest legacy of all.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to turn this whole narrative back over to you. We've seen today that true success doesn't come from a famous name or an endless bank account. It comes from our daily choices. And that applies whether you're a global superstar or just someone trying to do their best every day. So what choices are you making today to build your own legacy? Think about those daily habits, the character you consistently show the world, and the silent example you're setting for the people around you. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this fascinating playbook. Keep making those great disciplined choices, and I'll catch you next time.